if I thought I didn't win the election, I absolutely wouldn't have run.
Wow.
But because of the fact I did so well, it was such a horrible.
But if you didn't run, they would never come after you legally. They never would have done all that to you. If you didn't run, they would have let you alone.
I was told, and so I took a big chance.
Yeah, you sure did.
No, I took a big risk, actually.
In the mugshot.
Nobody's ever told me that. What you just said, nobody's ever said it. That's exactly correct. If I didn't run, none of this.
Oh, no. They wouldn't have had any investigation. None
Look,
of it
they hated me, but you have to get on with your life.
They'd be on to the next target.
Right.
They would have been on to the next
Very
target.
interesting. You're right about that.
Yeah. But that's a pretty big that's a pretty big gamble.
That was a big risk. So this is the Oval Office, and we've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort. We've taken a lot of great paintings out of the vault. And I don't know, maybe you could circle that somehow. So here's a question I ask. So Reagan has a place of prominence, and George Washington has a place of prominence. And I've asked this question maybe 200 times. People come in. I said, so who would you put in the place of prominence, George Washington or Ronald Reagan? Who would you put?
Washington.
So far, it's 219-0. And they like Reagan.
Oh, I love Reagan.
But here's what they like more than anything. So this is the Declaration of Independence.
Wow.
And they ask that this be done. It's never been up. It's been in the vaults for many, many decades. And they said, we have to do something like drapes or something because the light eventually affects it. And it's very cool.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Wow.
Think Joe Biden would do this? I don't think so. Do you think he'd think of it? Do you think he knows what it is?
Wow.
No, but look at it. So, but this was, none of these pictures were up. You know, very few. It's like very little. And it's been great.
Now, there was a lot made on another network about your bringing in the gold accents to Trumpify the Oval Office.
It needed a little life.
So you have the mantle and you have the cherubs from,
Right.
is that from Mar-a-Lago?
Yeah, that's actually, they're gold, all gold, look. And you know, it's angels. They say angels bring good luck. And we need a lot of luck in this country with what they've done over the last 4 years. So take a look. Do you know that little secret? I don't know if you're going to waste your time putting this on, but throughout the years, people have tried to come up with a gold paint that would look like gold, and they've never been able to do it.
Can't do it.
You've never been able, look at that look. You've never been able to match gold with gold paint. That's why it's gold. And this is very important. Very proud of this, Gulf of America. And in fact, Elon said to me, you know, we're landing in the Gulf of America. So he was saying, and he said it naturally. He said it so routinely. He said, yeah, the capsule, you know, is landing in the Gulf of America. So I called Elon, where is it dropping down? He said, Gulf of America. How cool is that, right?
What do you think all these presidents would think right now about
I think
the
they'd
state
be proud
of the
of our
country?
country. I think a year ago they would have been disgraced by our country, and I think today they're proud of our country. This is the Resolute desk, by the way. I had that just redone by an unbelievable group. They do only the White House furniture. They do only very special. This is the Resolute desk. Many great presidents sat behind that desk, and many didn't. I mean, you know, they have 7. When you're president, they give you a choice of 7 desks. This is the one.
Why? Why did you want this one?
Just like I like the history. You had Reagan, you had Kennedy. That was the famous one with John, who I knew very well, and he was a friend of mine. He was a great guy. He would have been maybe president someday. He would have been a real chance to be president. He was going to get into politics. He was actually a great guy. John. But remember when he was a young boy, the picture of him at the bottom of the desk.
Where's the Coke button?
It's right here. Everyone thinks that's the nuclear. Everyone thinks that's the nuclear weapon. They think it's a nuclear weapon. They say if I press this, it's the end of the world.
Oh, and then there's like
and it doesn't seem to work out that
50.
Doesn't that look beautiful though over there? But beautiful. To me, you know what looks beautiful? The Gulf of America. Look at that.
Which one's better? Which one?
And I'll take the Declaration of Independence. I think so. Isn't that cool?
When's